make things between us clear. The IPO is near, and I'm now a majority shareholder.
Were you sent by the devil or something?
I think we all need to relax a little bit. Obviously, we're one big family. I'm your brother, you're my sister.
I'm not your sister.
That witch has to go.
Go as in that.
As long as she's alive, we are all going to be broke.
You treated us like strangers. Now you want us to work together with you.
Oh, keep fighting amongst ourselves and lose everything.
We're still all going to die of hunger.
I want a respectable birthday.
There's no much money in this event.
Hey, choo-choo, budget down.
We realize that we cannot do without you.
Dami Bajo, huge fan.
What if your do-gooder football superstar boyfriend is two-timing you?
First of all, there was no kiss.
Dami, I'm not gonna marry a liar.
It was like a peck, nothing happened.
But you still can't chat to me, cause that big money family.
Big money family. Yeah, baby.
Get out of my studio, I beg. I don't know the cheap pasta. Sandra! You know you could go to prison for domestic violence.
The Big Crop family is broke, y'all.
My daughter is just doing her job.
I think we should just sue. No one is suing anyone today.
I'm your biggest fan, bro. How do you get from down here to up there, man?
I cashed my chips and I went to Dubai, fam.
Sorry. They do the shout here. Yay! Focus! Follow me. Let's go.
Are you sure about the number of zeros?
Yes.
We're on tour. This is what rappers do when they're on tour.
You must be moving mad. You must be moving mad. I think that's about the words I have right now when I think about everything I just saw in this movie, Chief Daddy. I don't know if I should tell them they are moving mad or something, but guys, it left me laughing, basically. And I think that's what they wanted us to do at the end of the day, right? It's supposed to be comedy drama, right? Guys, I don't even know how to say the story. You know, usually I start my review with telling you a bit of the story before reviewing the real thing. But this time I don't even know how to tell you the story because there were a lot of story in the story that the story didn't even make sense at the end of the day. Let me calm down. This has to be like my worst review ever. But this is 2022. Why would anyone want me to watch a movie in 2022 and the story is not solid? I'm angry. I think I'm angry. But this is 2022, guys. I'm really tired of watching Ebony Life movie where there's a lot of power cast and there is no story to tell. Guys, if you can pay for all those actors and actresses, all that location to Dubai and all that stuff, then you should be able to pay for a good story. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and yes, should I say Happy New Year. Happy New Year, guys. Welcome to a brand new year, a year of peace, love, joy, happiness, and all that stuff in between. This is not supposed to be my first video in 2022, but I got lazy editing all those cool videos I have for you. So yeah, this has to come because you know how movies are. I have to review on time and bring you guys what I think about it before you get tired of waiting. So yes, I'm going to quickly review the movie Chief Daddy 2. But again, in case you're new to my channel, my name is Eleshamoyosorolua, and this channel is about lifestyle, movie review, everything I have in my head, family, love, faith, all of that good stuff. So yes, please feel free to subscribe to my channel in case you're just clicking for the first time. And if you are already a subscriber, then thank you for returning to watch yet another video. So yes, I said a lot of people are angry, but that's not why I am here. That is not why I am here. It took me a while to see Chief Daddy Part 2, even though I still saw it today being the 1st of January, the release date on Netflix. But it took me a while because I know it's nothing serious, and I didn't just want to rush into it. I had other great stuff to do for the day, being the 1st of a new year. So I took my time, spent the day cooking, preparing to host a few friends, and then finally I decided to watch it while I was eating, and so that I won't get angry. But while I was cooking, one thing I do when there's a movie with a sequel or a second part, I always try as much as possible to refresh my brain, okay? I remind myself of what happened in the first one. So while I was cooking this evening, I decided to just play the first one. So it was playing, I was cooking, I was just trying to remember the voices, the cast and all that stuff that happened in part 1, even though it got me more angry, because then I just remembered that Chief Daddy was one of those movies that got me really angry in 2018. I think that was when it was released, the first one, because it was just all those plenty, numerous, popular faces with not so good story. That's how I felt about Chief Daddy the first time. And then now that we heard that there was going to be a part 2, I was thinking, okay, maybe they have a good story to tell now. Maybe it's going to be interesting now. Maybe there's something to watch now. Maybe there is, maybe. But to my amazement, it turned out that we still ended up spending money on good location, popular actors and actresses, all that stuff, but yet storyline, I don't know. So let's just basically talk about it before I get as angry as you all are, because I've seen a lot of comments online, by the way. So yeah, let's get into it. But then I just sat back asking myself, why should I be angry? I think I just really gave myself a pep talk on why there was no point having too much attachment to this movie at the end of the day. So I just went in like, okay, I'm just about to laugh, nothing serious, okay? I think that's why I'm not as angry as a lot of people, because usually when I spend my time, my money watching movies like that, I come back and I'm like, I want to rant. But this one, I really don't see anything to rant about. I'm just going to tell you what it is. It is what it is. So yes, Chief Daddy the movie 2018, it started. We had the storyline of a chief who's had several mistresses die, and then he had to, the whole will thing had to come into play, inviting all of the wife, concubines, mistresses, children, the ones known and unknown, to a meeting, a family meeting, where his will was supposed to be read by Castle and Castle, Mr. and Mrs. Castle. You should know that background if you follow Ebony Live content. So yeah, that's RMD and Dakori Egusi, by the way. So yes, it was just all about that, the drama that came with the instructions the chief gave, and the need for them to pay attention to some things as a family if they were going to get the will to be read and going to get their share of his estate. So yeah, it was basically all of that in part 1, and all the drama that came from having Funke, Akindele, Kate Henshaw sisters, by the way. We had the late Rachel Oniga, God rest her soul. We had Shafi Bello play one of the wives now. We also had Silva, like the oldest wife, after all the drama we saw. We also have Linda Ejiofor. There was, I'm trying to remember all those faces, Falz the bad guy. There was, I'm trying to remember all their names now, because there are like too many of them, by the way. Chigo was in it. Also had this other funny guy. I don't know why his name is running off my head, but then it was more of a business partner with Chigo, and they were like the comic relief in part 1 for me. In part 2, I don't know what happened. I didn't laugh at all when I saw them. So yeah, I'm sure that has something to do with what they asked them to do now in part 2. The spin for me in part 2 is now having Brodashaggi do the comic or comedy part, which I think I enjoyed watching him. So yes, I think these were some of the people in part 1. I'm not going to dwell on part 1. Let's just go to part 2. So this time around we have new introduction. We had Rahama Sadau. Sadau. I can't remember how to sound her name now, but this northern actress, or what they call them now, Kannywood. This we call them Kannywood or whatever. So northern actress, beautiful actress by the way. We had Rahama, we had Uzo Azekwe, also introduced into part 2, and then we also had the introduction of Brodashaggi. So I think those are like 3 major casts introduced into part 2. Yeah. The story this time around, I don't even know what it is because it was like a lot of drama. I think it was now tied between the introduction of Rahama Sadau, as I think she was called Layla in the movie, and she was introduced to us in part 1. I think that was how they even ended part 1, and then now in part 2 where a character grew, and it was a matter of, oh, okay, so who are you, what are you here for, what's your mission? And then it sounded like she had I was trying to understand all of those things they were doing, but turned out that she was in charge now, and they couldn't get all the family members who struggled to get Chief Daddy's or their portion of Chief Daddy's estate. Turned out that they had nothing, and then Layla came from nowhere, and she was sounding like she was in charge. So it was now a we against our kind of episode, even though the story was lost somehow, and I couldn't even understand why and how. The question of the why, the how wasn't even answered, and I really got tired trying to figure it out. Basically, that's one story. We also had Falz, who was trying to move from up and coming artist to being a major artist because he's a musician. We all know he gave us the "you must be moving mad." So we had Falz on another hand, and we had the love story going on with Mahuli and Beverly Naya. Beverly Naya happened to be Patience Uzopo's daughter. Patience Uzopo is one of Chief Daddy's staff, and then we also had her partner with Ikem Owo, who's like the driver for Chief Daddy, and then all of that stuff that we had in part 1. So it was, the love story was somewhere, Falz's career was somewhere, and then we also have the old Rahama Sadau, that's Layla's drama going on in another place. And then this introduction of Uzo Ezekwe, I really don't understand what was going on there. I mean, with Henshaw and Funke Akindele, okay, first it was they met up somewhere, and then all of a sudden he was introducing himself as, is he a lawyer to Layla or something? And I'm like, Layla is supposed to be your enemy. Okay, fine, you like this guy, that's Henshaw, and then the guy is liking your sister, that's Funke Akindele. And somewhere along the line, Funke walked up to him and like, oh, my sister likes you, can't you see it? And then he went back to Henshaw, and then it was Henshaw was like, and then Funke got tired of having Henshaw behave in a kind of way because they're business partners, and she wasn't concentrating anymore. And then it was like, okay, I'm going to make you jealous. And then she went back to Uzo, and then both of them went back to him at a particular point, and were like, we're sisters, we are both going to have you, or we don't both mind having you. And I'm like, what's all these old people doing here? I mean, at that point, I wasn't even just seeing them as actresses anymore. I was seeing them in the light of who they are, and I'm like, why is Funke Akindele playing this role, or even saying this line? Why is Henshaw agreeing to say this kind of line? It felt so dumb and silly, and I'm like, what's going on here? I think the only part or the part I loved to watch in this part 2 would definitely be the love story, which also felt dumb along the line with some of the realistic stuff they were doing. All those press conference with Mahuli, who we know is a football star and one of the sons of Chief Daddy, and then all that drama going on with, oh, you're not proud of me, you're proud of me, threw the diamond ring away and all that stuff. And then there was also what's her name now? And there was Beverly Osu, who I really don't understand that thing of trying to go meet Mahuli and asking to go to Dubai when Falz went to Dubai with Linda and was trying to push his career, and then all of a sudden Mahuli took her to Dubai to meet Falz, and then all that drama they had going on in Dubai. Guys, I don't even know how to say the story. Usually I start my review with telling you a bit of the story before reviewing the real thing. But this time I don't even know how to tell you the story, because there were a lot of story in the story that the story didn't even make sense at the end of the day. Let me calm down. This has to be like my worst review ever. because I think I am as confused as the people who wrote that story and worked on this movie. And then I'm really surprised because this is a Nia Akimalayan's movie. Okay, so yeah, he's a director of the movie, and then I think I won't be surprised because I think he did his own part. He was a director. I loved the shot. I loved the location. Yeah, the shots were really nice. I saw some very cool shots and I like that shot. So yeah, I don't think the director, you know, I'm not gonna blame him, right? The shots were clean. The actors, you know, the cast, they played their role, either dumb or silly or funny. They tried to do what they were asked to do. So I think it wasn't really about the people in the movie. I think it was more of the fact that they didn't exactly have a story to tell, or maybe the story isn't just a story for Nigerians at this time and age. Okay, maybe if Ebony had given us this story in say 17, 18, just the way we had the wedding party 1, wedding party 2, maybe we would have liked it. But this is 2022. Why would anyone want me to watch a movie in 2022 and the story is not solid? I'm angry. I think I'm angry. But this is 2022, guys. I'm really tired of watching Ebony Life movie where there's a lot of power cast and there is no story to tell. Guys, if you can pay for all those actors and actresses, all that location to Dubai and all that stuff, then you should be able to pay for a good story. A good writer, not this mediocre storylines that I'm saying right here. So yeah, basically guys, the story, a no for me, but then I wasn't surprised. I don't know why you lots are angry, because again, Chief Daddy 1 didn't exactly give us anything fantastic, so I wasn't expecting so much. So yes, I had a good laugh. I enjoyed watching Brodashaggi speak good English for the first time in a movie. I mean, it was like almost throughout, because usually when Brodashaggi features in a movie, it always features as the comedy, you know, language, always features in the language he uses for his comedy, which is pidgin most of the time, or the area kind of vibe. But this time it was in Dubai, and then he spoke English for like 85% of the time for the time his character came up. So yeah, I think I enjoyed watching that, because him speaking English kind of gave him a different vibe, different voice, you know, like this serious Shaggy that I don't get to see all the time. So I think that was about the only fascinating thing for me in this movie. Apart from that, trust me, I'm not sure anything else worked for me. It was just a matter of sitting down and just, okay, let's just pass time, let it just go. That's how I felt. And when he ended with the party and the, oh, we invited her, oh, I mean, that was Rahama Sadau showing up in the family wedding of Mawuli and Beverly Naya. And then Mama Joke Silva had that thing going on. I'm like, can we just stop it right now? And then they had this old family lovey thing at the end of the day, and I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe we would take our family value as one of the lessons learned, because they kept hammering on the fact that, okay, for Mawuli especially, I think it was the center of the whole family value thing, hammering on the fact that he thought his career was all he got, or all he's got, and then finding family is now important to him. Yes, there's a bit of stories here and there. There was this thing with Falz too, wanting to push his career. That might be a lesson you want to pick out as well. So the family value, yeah, good lesson that you want to tell on a 1st of January, because more people need to understand that they have to love their family regardless of how crazy, naughty, stupid you may think they are. So yes, those were some of the things those are some of the things you can pick up from this movie. But I think the storytelling is something that I had a problem with, and trust me, when the story is not good, people would find it very difficult to pick out the lessons that you're trying to show them at the end of it. So yes, the review or the report or the reaction of a lot of people who have seen this movie is not exactly good. I am not surprised, neither am I angry, because like I said, I went into it without expecting so much or anything at all. So yeah, that's about it for Chief Daddy. Again, I said that cinematography was good. You don't expect less from an Ebony Life movie. They have access to some of the best equipment. So yes, I do give them you know, thumbs up on that when it comes to their cinematography. But the story, poor. The acting, I'm not sure I really enjoyed it, because I think their lines gave me some kind of moments a lot, so it was hard to even focus on the acting because the lines were not all that, I mean, the lines were mostly not good. So I wasn't even enjoying watching some of my favorite people be in that movie because of the lines that were coming out of their mouths, and I'm like, why? Like, why? So I really can't say anything about the acting, even though, of course, they did what they had to do. And what else am I going to talk about? The costuming, fantastic as always. It's an Ebony-like movie. I think those are some of the things that we just want to pinpoint here and there. But apart from that, I do not think that we want to see anything happen with this Chief Daddy thing anymore. It's supposed to be a comedy, we get it. I laughed at some point. I think Brodashaggi gave me a laugh here and there. Chigo and Neduhu were the comic relief I had in the first part of the movie. They didn't exactly do it for me this time around. I did say that earlier on. So it was more of the Brodashaggi introduction that kind of made me laugh here and there. But apart from that, I'm not sure this movie did what it was sent out to do. I'm not exactly sure it did what it was sent out to do. So here I am rating this movie a 3/10. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna rate it, a 3/10. I don't want to go deep in and out anymore because I'm just gonna go on ranting. I think this has now turned to more of a rant than a movie review. But guys, let's just end it here. Let me know what you think about this movie in the comment section as usual. Again, there are some very fantastic movies that were released at the tail end of 2021. I've not had time to go see them, but I'm going to do that in the course of this new week. Christmas in Miami is one of them. Akia Popo is another one. Superstar is yet another one. And I think the review for this one, or the report I've received for this movie, it's something I want to watch and review for you guys. There's so many other movies coming in this January. I will try as much as possible to watch them, review them, and talk to you about them so that you know if you want to see them. But then, Chief Daddy is free to all. It's on Netflix, so if you have access to Netflix, you should see. You would probably have seen this movie because I mean it's one movie a lot of us were expecting. But here we are talking about it after watching, and then it doesn't appear to be that good. But nonetheless, it's something that you should see if you just want to sit down and feel what other people felt. Guys, that's about it for this movie review. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe to my channel if you've not done so. More fantastic content coming out this year, I promise you guys. See you in the next one. Goodbye.